Hi, I'm Chelly Wood and this is my tiny sewing room where I make doll clothes sewing videos. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pair of either underpants or bikini bottoms for 13-inch to 16-inch little girl style dolls like your Wellie Wishers, Hearts for Hearts girls, and similar dolls. Before we begin, please go to chellywood.com to download and print this free PDF sewing pattern. Use the pattern to cut out 2 outer garment pieces and 2 lining pieces. You'll want stretchy fabrics for this. You'll also need 2 cuts of 1/4 inch elastic. Measure your doll's upper thigh like you see me doing here, and then cut the elastic so it overlaps just slightly. You'll need a 1/3 piece of 1/4 inch elastic to fit around the doll's natural waist. And again, you're going to cut the elastic so it overlaps just a little bit. Just wind it around her waist and give it a measurement. Lay one of the linings on top of the other lining and then stitch across the crotch like you see I've done here. Open the crotch up like so. Now lay one of the outer fabrics on top of the other, keeping, as we like to say, the right sides or the pretty sides together. Stitch across the crotch. Open this garment piece up like this. Now lay the lining over the outer fabric, keeping right sides together, so finished sides or finished seams are together. In other words, make sure the seam on your side is visible. Stitch from one side of the leg hole to the other. Here's a closer look at what I mean by that. Do this for both of the leg hole areas. Here's a look at my stitches from the other side, from the lining side. Clip the seam as shown. Be very careful that you don't cross your seams with your scissors. Do this for both leg hole seams. Invert the garment, and that's what you see me doing here, and I actually use a chopstick to help me with that. Your garment should look sort of like a bow tie. Now lay your elastic in between the lining and the outer fabric. Measure how wide your casing will need to be. Take the elastic out and use a fabric pencil to mark the casing line that you wish to sew. Now sew along the edge of the leg hole, stitching following that casing line that you've created. I just used a simple base stitch for this, and you can do the same thing. Once the panties or swimsuit bottoms are done, you can remove this based stitch. It won't hurt to remove it. It's also okay to just leave it in. I think that's what I ended up doing. Create 2 based stitched casings following these same directions. Attach a safety pin to one end of one of your leg elastics and send your safety pin through the casing you've created using straight pins to hold the elastic in place at each end, just like this. Now bring the swimsuit front and back pieces together like this, keeping those right sides together. You're going to stitch over the elastic and then remove your straight pins and continue to stitch up the side until you reach the top of the underpants or the swimsuit bottoms. Now your panties or bikini bottoms will look like this. Open the outer fabric like you see me doing here and fold the top of the outer fabric once with a real small fold, and then a second time with a deeper fold. Your pattern is marked with casing guidelines to help you with this. Whip stitch along the bottom of this casing from one side of the undies to the other. Now if you need help with the whip stitch, I have a tutorial for that. Just look in the description below this video on YouTube. Now that you have one leg hole finished and a waistband casing, it's time to pull your elastic through the other leg hole's casing. Use the same method as the other leg elastic, holding your elastic in place with straight pins. Okay, so I'm pushing my safety pin through. I use a straight pin to hold it in place. I take my safety pin out and put in another straight pin. Here's how it will look now. But we still need to add the waistband elastic. Attach a safety pin to one end of the elastic and send the elastic through the waistband casing. That's what you see me doing right here. So I'm working with the elastic for the waistband now, and I insert a straight pin, pull the safety pin out, and again put in another straight pin. Bring the sides together and stitch up the side. Invert your swimsuit bottoms. And now you're ready to try them on a doll. For more free printable PDF sewing patterns to fit dolls of many shapes and all different sizes, please remember to visit my website, chellywood.com. Now hang in there until the very end because I have yet another little animation of the dolls. So hang in there until the very end of this video. It's not famous artists who inspire my designs, but rather, it's my ugly childhood fairy. Yes, I have an ugly childhood fairy. She's often lurking over my shoulder, and that's why I love to design doll clothes. Which is why I've created a life balance to-do list. Now, if you have an ugly childhood fairy too, you might benefit from this. My life balance to-do list helps me set goals that balance my family, myself, my community, and my career. Because I have trouble with balance. You can print it out, you can write your goals by hand, or you can download it to your phone or your laptop or your tablet. And then you can just type in the goals directly into the goal sheet. So either one works. There's even a spot for your long-term goals. I'm using this thing every day, by the way. So if you want to get control of your ugly childhood fairy, like mine, look in the description below for a link to my Etsy store where you can learn more about my life balance to-do list that I actually do use. It's how I achieve all the great things I do, including doll clothes design, and I also am a full-time school librarian. It helps restore balance into all aspects of my life, and I want to share it with you.